But the definition of recession is 2 or more consecutive quarters of negative growth. We didn't have our first negative growth until third quarter of 2008. What happened third quarter of 2008? Well, if you remember, the price of oil was going to $5 a gallon. $5 a gallon. Remember that? Remember that shit? Wow. If gasoline and oil, if oil is going so high, that means all products associated with oil are going through the roof. Not just gasoline, all products. We had a minus 0.5% growth third quarter 2008. Fine. It's still negative. It's not positive. First quarter of negative growth. It's 0.5%. All of it is attributable to the increase in the price of oil. Why did the price of oil just mysteriously go up third quarter of 2008? Well, at the end of second quarter of 2008, Jimmy Carter, uninvited, and certainly wasn't sent there by the Bush administration, got on a plane, flew to Saudi Arabia, had private closed-door meetings with his Arab buddies. They must be his buddies because he won a Nobel Peace Prize with them. So, he has private closed-door meetings with the Saudis and other oil-producing OPECers. We have no idea what they said. We have no idea what deals were made. But what we do know is 3 weeks, white Southern Democrat plantation owner Jimmy Carter came back from the Middle East. 3 weeks later, the price of oil started going through the roof. And to this day, no one can tell us why. No one can tell us why. They're speculating it was the speculators, but that's just speculation. Bullshit. Jimmy Carter had private closed-door meetings with the Arabs. 3 weeks after that meeting, the price of oil mysteriously goes through the roof. And it stayed through the roof until the poll numbers started hurting Obama. And then just as mysteriously as they went up, they mysteriously came back down. That was the start of the first negative recession. The price of oil spiking up for no fucking reason. Minus 0.5%. The third quarter really didn't start to plummet until the week before the election, when it became apparent that Brown's Bolshevik was going to win the election. And he ran on destroying capitalism. He ran on killing everyone who makes a profit in this country. I've come to realize when the Democrats say we're going to close corporate loopholes, what they really mean is there's still companies out there making a profit. We're going to track them down and stomp them out of existence. I got way off track here. Oh, the second negative quarter was the fourth quarter of 2008. It started the week before the election is when it started to plummet because it appeared that Obama was going to win. Every investor on the planet pulled their money out of this country. Every investor pulled their money out of this country. That's why after Obama got in office, there was no profitable companies left to tax. He was counting on killing these people with their taxes. There's no profits left. Everybody's going bankrupt because every investor on the planet pulled their money out of this country. That's why Obama then started talking about going overseas and threatening these other countries where these investors were storing their money up to get the money from them. What are you going to tax them for? They're not earning a profit. They're just there. But I think the Democrats themselves squelched that idea because they convinced him, dumbass, we got our money over there too. The Democrats are hiding their money overseas too. You can't go over there. They'll expose everybody. So that ended that shit. So the two negative quarters under George Bush started when the price of oil spiked through the roof after Jimmy Carter's visit to Saudi Arabia, and the second negative quarter was the fourth quarter of 2008 when it appeared that Obama was going to win and every investor on the planet pulled their money out of this country. Okay, now back to the housing market. So, what does Freddie and Fannie do with all these high-risk loans that they've accumulated? Well, they bundled them as mortgage-backed securities, an investment opportunity, a high-interest yielding investment opportunity, a high-interest yielding mortgage-backed investment opportunity. Think about that. Somebody comes to you and says, I want to sell you this investment. Look at the interest rate you can earn. And the reason you can earn a high interest rate, is because the interest rate they were charging the homeowner was very high. Why? Because their credit score is 4. So, they're charging them an outrageous interest rate. That way you, as the investor, can get in on that and make an outrageous profit. And the guy selling it to you is going to make a couple of points too, if these people actually pay the fucking loan. Therein comes the problem. Freddie and Fannie is selling this worthless shit all over the world to everybody, right? None of these fucking people are making their house payments. And then Freddie and Fannie run out of money. They're running out of money anyway. The economy goes south. They spike up. They're not worth any more money. And what most people don't know, and should really be pissed right now, is that the federal government is sticking billions of dollars more into Freddie and Fannie so they can continue to buy those worthless fucking loans. Billions of dollars in taxpayer money is going into Freddie and Fannie today under Obama to pay for Freddie and Fannie to buy more bullshit loans. Now, what do you think really caused the housing market collapse? How many young people are there that's making $150,000 a year, that are married to each other? They got a combined income of over $200,000 a year. They go out and buy a $500,000 home. One of them gets laid off. They default on their loan. Housing market collapses. You think that's the problem? Or do you think maybe the government is dictating to the banks that you will give loans to these people and you will count welfare as income? They give loans to people, and the government's giving them the down payment. So they get the down payment, they get a home loan. They've never had a fucking job in their life. Their credit score is 4. The banks are making millions of these loans, selling them to Freddie and Fannie, gobbling them up like fucking candy. They bought so much of them. Freddie and Fannie bought so much of these fucking loans, they went bankrupt. Freddie and Fannie went bankrupt just from buying these worthless fucking loans. They're worthless because no one was paying them back. Now, the government is attacking the bankers for foreclosing on these people who don't make their house payments. So now the government takes them over. Think about this. Government takes them over. The government now owns the paper on those homes. The government chastised and hated the bankers for foreclosing on these people for not making their payments. Now, if you were in that situation, if you were that homeowner, would you bother to ever make another house payment again? What's the government going to do? Throw you out of your house? Are they going to evict you? Are they going to foreclose on you? Are they going to do the same shitting thing that they chastised the bankers for doing? Foreclosing on your house. Really? These people are not making a single fucking payment. Not one. I challenge the government to show me one welfarian that Freddie and Fannie owns the paper on that's actually made a fucking house payment. One. They're still getting their welfare checks. Still getting their welfare checks. Not a penny of it is going to make that home loan. Guaranteed. And you and I are still spending billions of dollars a month to keep Freddie and Fannie's doors open so they can continue this bullshit. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. There is a guy named Thomas Sowell, an economist, who wrote a book, Sowell, S-O-W-E-L-L, who wrote a book called The Housing Boom and Bust. That's the book. The Housing Boom and Bust, which explains everything I just said. Everything. And for you racist liberal Democrats who keep score of such things, Thomas Sowell is a black economist author. Doesn't mean shit to me. Apparently it means everything you liberal fucks. Alright, I'm Butch. That's about 35 minutes with Butch, but I'll break this up into pieces, cut it down a little bit. Find me on Facebook, Full Metal Conservatives. Find me on Blog Talk Radio, Full Metal Conservatives, and Red, White, and Blue Conservatives. And I'm going to come up with a third one. Anyway, don't get upset. We're going to take the country back.